Greetings, welcome to day 41 of the 77-day video challenge. Earlier this evening I ran across a memory from 4 years ago, something that I shared on Facebook, an article on bad habits you must break in order to that you must break immediately to improve your life in the next 100 days. I just glanced back over that article and I thought, well, this is a great forum for me to share some of those insights. So I made a few notes on them, and I've got a few additional thoughts in addition to some of the items shared in that article. One is about not making excuses. We, as a species, we have a bad habit. Of course it's a bad habit of making excuses. And what I have recognized is that we have a tendency to make excuses rather than give reasons. Give excuses, not reasons. Then when you give excuses, the only person you're really convincing of the merit of your shortcomings is yourself. You're not really convincing anybody else to accept your explanation. Similarly, when rationalization, you're only convincing yourself that things should have worked out differently rather than convincing other people by justifying what has transpired. Be aware of productivity killers. One of the most conspicuous right now is people looking at their phones and ignoring what's going on in the world around them. They miss appointments, they miss connection with people in a meaningful way because they're paying attention to their phones, or they got their earbuds in, or they have their music turned up so loud. So breaking away from some of those productivity killers can be a step in the right direction. In fact, when I think about people who walk around with their earbuds in, it reminds me I don't see people whistling much anymore when I see them out walking around. You see them with earbuds in or headphones on, and they're silent, but you don't see people whistling that much anymore when they're just out walking around. Multitasking. Multitasking is largely a myth. Only about 2% of people are effective at multitasking, according to this article. Saying yes to everything. That can be challenging. As I shared a couple of nights ago, one piece of advice that I was asked for was, after I had finished my term as district director now, is if I had any advice for people. And I said, know when to say yes, when to say no, and when to say nothing. Remember to put on your reading glasses when you need to. That's a little tip from me. Turn down your inner critic. Turn down your inner critic. This is a piece of advice that I keep forgetting to take. Is that I tell myself, oh, David, you don't need to say that. You didn't need to do that. That was dumb. You're going to look clumsy and people are going to embarrass you. A little tip that I've heard about that is if you recall something embarrassing, think of something that would have embarrassed somebody else on the same level. You probably can't think of it, which means that if you can't think of something that embarrassing that happened to somebody else, they probably will not remember the embarrassing things that happened to you. You can probably just let that go. Perfection. Perfection is something that a lot of people will never be able to meet. Don't aim for it. Get things done. Getting things that done is better than nothing. Uh, if you'll forgive me, something that that has crossed my mind is half-assed is better than asshole. Just think about that. And perfect is not shouldn't be the goal. Just getting things done. So. Don't delay your passion. This is something that a lot of people forget, is that they put off what really gives them joy because they see their lives as filled with obligation. And I know that I give in to that. A couple of years ago, there was somebody who wanted to get together with me, and we exchanged a couple of messages, and I thought it was really helpful to share the things that were filling my life. And I realized that maybe those were just fillers and not fulfillers in my life. And his response was, well, maybe you're just too busy to date. So look for the things that are fulfilling your life and not just filling your life. Regret in action. That's if you're not moving forward, maybe you're just sitting in place. This is the things that make that. I shouldn't worry about what other people think, and what other people think is none of my business. What other people think of me is none of my business. I don't need to worry about it. Their perceptions, their take on things may be wrong. I shouldn't get hung up on that. So those are a couple of little tips from that article. I'm going to share this in the comments below this video. If you've got some little habits that you know you need to break, you can share those in the comments. If you've got any feedback on this video or on the article that I'm going to attach, I look forward to that. And I also look forward to seeing you on day 42 of the 77-day video challenge.